Today we are smoking A Decade by Rocky Patel. A very good smoke for the morning. If it's your first ever cigar, I recommend a Java Maduro. That was my first cigar that opened me to the world of cigars. Then I started getting into all the real stuff. But the Decade, how do we cut this? There's three different ways you can cut. You've got your V cut, you've got your regular basic cut, you got your regular cutter, right? You got to measure everything yourself, and then you have your hole punch. I've used this method a few times. If it's too tight, you're not gonna have a very good cigar smoking experience. You're not gonna be able to draw, but that's what we're gonna get into. My favorite cut is just this one right here. You have this one as well, right? Doesn't go all the way through. I open this up and you can see all the way through it, right? You can see all the way through that. This one, it doesn't let you mess it up, okay? Now, this is the foot of our cigar where we light it. And this is the cap where we make our cut. If you look closely at a cigar cap, you can kind of see where it gets glued on, right? You can kind of see that. You don't want to cut too deep. You want to cut right on the tip. So if you see this line right here, how there's a line just here, right? You want to cut about halfway between that line and the top of the cap. Got Colonel Rhodes over here stepping in to make sure I'm doing everything properly. So anyway, the way I like to do it is I will set, if I'm using a hole punch that goes all the way through like that, I will set it against, right? I'll set it against this. That's how I cut it. That's how I measure, right? So I'll put it here and then I'll just be quick about it, right? Right there's not quite enough. So I just kind of look at it. See here, it's a little over to the right, just a little too much. So we'll do it again and I should be able to get a good cut this time. But there we go, all right? Now, upon looking at it, I feel it should still have a good draw, even though it kind of looks tight. But I feel it, right? Taste your cigar. Take a couple of pulls, right? We never inhale when we're smoking cigars. If you like to inhale, that's your thing, not my thing. But this is the point where I don't like to have tobacco coming out in my mouth when I'm smoking. So I get rid of all that, you know, as I'm rolling it around between my teeth, tasting it, taking those pulls, taking a sip of my coffee, of my water, whatever. I take my time, really make sure that each smoking experience is relaxing. So that's the other part to this, is making sure that you have a good atmosphere going on. Right now we're sitting back in my lounge, right? Got my coffee, my water standing by here. I've got my coffee here. All my ashtray going on over here. As a matter of fact, that came with my ash. That was a gift from my father-in-law, actually. Shout out to you. So when we're smoking our cigars, we want everything to be laid back, mellow, calm, relaxed. This is a time of kind of meditation. Now, I already made a video on how to pull, right, properly smoke a cigar. This is how to light one. So I'm getting a nice even flow. You know, it's like you're sucking on a straw. Suck out, suck in, blow out, right? Pull in, blow out. Pull in, blow out type of situation. Same thing when you're smoking the cigar. But you're just making sure if it's too tight, you're just gonna roll it between your fingers and loosen it up a little bit. It's probably all it needs. Usually when your cigar is sitting at the right humidity setting, you're not gonna really have a problem with a tightly wound cigar. And all the good brand names should be just fine for your cigar smoking enjoyment. Now, for the light. If you have a torch like this one, I'm using a torch. You can use a match, you can use cedar wood, whatever you want. I believe that each one of those methods kind of deserves its own video. It's just going to be way too long and too many cigars, right? So with this decade, I'm gonna light it and I'm gonna keep it maybe an inch or two away from the cigar itself when I'm lighting it. So for example, right, we make sure we have enough juice, enough fluid. So I just kind of look at my flame. How far is it blowing? How far is it torching? And then I'm gonna look at the foot of my cigar, and you can kind of see it there, right? I'm not real close. I'm singeing it, right? I'm torching it. I've got good ventilation going on in the house, so I'm not choking on my own smoke in here. But this is kind of how I do it. And I'm going around the edges, and then I hit the middle, right? And then, so I don't burn it, right? That's actually pretty good. The other thing that I like to do is blow on this thing, right? But first I'll kind of give it just some natural wind, kind of swing it back and forth like this. And then I'll blow on it, and I'll look at how much I've lit, maybe take a pull. And it's not properly lit yet. So you can see the cigar at what we've actually been able to light pretty well, right? Kind of see that charcoal looking, or the gray spots, right? So we're gonna do it again. This time I'm gonna bring it a little closer, still moving in a circle. You don't ever want to concentrate on one spot. If you concentrate on one specific spot, keep the torch moving. That's the right way to do it. So you see I'm not super close to it, and I keep going around the ring, the outer edge. I keep going around the ring. You don't always have to, have the cigar in your mouth, light it, pull, and blow out. I see some guys do that. It's better to do that if you're lighting with a fire method that is not a torch, right? There's no force behind it, okay? And when I'm smoking it, right, I'll keep turning it in a circle. When I'm lighting the cigar, the initial light, my first couple of pulls, I'll pull on it kind of hard. Not too hard, but harder than I would for the rest of the entire cigar. As you can see, we have a pretty good light. Right now, I can see myself in the camera talking to you, so I can see how well it's lit when I'm pulling. If I want to be absolutely sure, even if I have a torch, I'll put it in my mouth and light it. So for the sake of, just you guys being able to witness that. That's it. You don't want to burn the cigar. But that, my friends, is how you light a cigar. Take your time, right? Have your ashtray nearby. Keep an eye on the foot of your cigar. Right? You don't want to spill ash all over yourself or someone else. Make a mess. Keep your area clean. I like to keep my ashtray nice and close like this. I like sitting against, my lounge chair here. I got my TV over here. I can watch way over there in the living room. Put my feet up and just relax, right? If the smoke is getting in my face too much, I'll open my window. So that's the other thing, right? Good ventilation. As you can see, I've got the fan going overhead up there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it that way. Here, I'll turn on the light. You can see where it's at. There's the fan, right? I got that window open over there. This door goes out into my garage, so I can open that. And honestly, by the time I'm done with the cigar, there is no smell left in the house. Like, it's non-existent. I do this mostly when my ladies are not here, my little girl, my wife, and I just sit back and just meditate and relax, right? That's it. That's the whole experience. Enjoy.